What's going on, people? Uh, gonna start my presentation today on uh, my view on numbers and shapes, and a lot of this is gonna be coming from what I've learned from a fellow brother of mine. Shout out to brother Sanchez. Um, he's opened a lot of doors and shed a lot of light on a lot of people, and include myself. And I'm gonna attempt to spread his word and his knowledge through my channel as well. And the one thing that caught my attention is his teachings on numbers, and not in the numerical way, but in a way of a concept and a symbol. Because before language, we all know that we use symbols and pictures to communicate, sound. You know, we look at the word spelling and we break it down and you see it's spell. You're casting a spell with the letters that you combine and create a new vibration through your tongue. What's come out the mouth is powerful, okay? So back to what I was talking about with numbers, okay? So of course we know that we start with zero, okay? But again, we're not going to do this as a numerical way. This is going to be a story to tell, basically on creation, all right? So if I can just give me a second here, I'm going to jot some things down, and I'm going to get you to see what I'm saying, okay? Not a perfect circle, but as we see here, zero, right? Which is also a circle. But the zero or the circle is not nothing. Okay, this is everything because it's a continuous cycle, right? So when you look at the zero and you notice how you go from zero to one, okay? So the zero would basically be the one from the God view or the eagle eye. Let me explain. So to go from one to zero, from zero to one, I should say, zero is the one from a top view. So if you was to look at the zero from the top view, it will look like a dot, okay? And the reason why this is because you start, say if you, before I do anything as far as drawing a picture, drawing, making a letter, a word, anything, the first thing I do is place my pen on the paper, right? And that's a dot. So the zero and the dot is always going to be the first thing that comes to the paper. So once you get past that, as the creator, we should say, the zero, and you come down to a different perspective, you will now see the zero as a pole, the one. All right? So now we got that. So when you get to the one, you get to two, which is actually, we were going to make lines right here for right now, or you can make dots. All right? So as we go on, two, which is a duality, meaning do, dos, is two. Okay? When you split from the one, that's a splitting. This is a split. All right? But what we don't realize is the two will always create three, meaning duality creates the Trinity. And what do we mean by duality creating the Trinity? Meaning two lines on a paper will automatically create a third line in the middle, which would be the white space. That's a third line. That's man and woman creating three, the child. Okay? So one plus one, in a sense, is three. All right? Because man and woman creates a third person, which is the child. Okay? So once we get past the two, we get to our first stable structure in the numerical or number system, which would be three, which leads to our next shape in the triangle. Make sense? Because now you are building and you have to make a stable structure. So you want to put that third spot in between, just like you do here with the splitting. Okay? So the three is the triangle. So now you've gotten to the three. So let me just write this out for a second. All right? Zero is by itself. Let's say. All right? So we've gotten to the three. Now we get to the four. So once you realize the three is the triangle, now we get to what the Egyptians or the people who built pyramids were getting to their knowledge, right? And we realize that the three is actually supported by the four. And what do I mean? Because the base of a pyramid is a box. It is a square. So if you were to go to, excuse me, I don't have much equipment to work with. I'm just doing this right off the top of my head. But if you were to go on the internet and look up the pyramids of Giza from a top view, you will see a box, which is a box with the X. Okay? That's what the pyramids would look from a top view. And this is what the Egyptians knew. They knew that the four was the base. And let's get into the etymology of four, the spelling of it. Four in the FOU root, which is also the same as foundation. Okay? The box is a foundation for the pyramid. Okay? So now you've actually kind of went forward and backwards at the same time when you understand the three is the first structure shape after the zero or the circle, which is everything. So it's not really a shape. The circle is everything all in one. You can fit all the shapes inside of the circle. All right. So once you get to the four, all right, and you trace it out like I did here with the box, you will realize that you have one, two, three, four, and a fifth point in the middle, which is five, which brings me back to why I drew out the numbers here. And you realize that five is in the middle of all the numbers, okay? Let me put 10 right here on the end. So that way you can see fully, all right? Because five splits them in the middle. It's like the S, okay? The snake. So you have one, two, three, four numbers on this side. 6, 7, 8, 9, another four. Four on each side. Okay, this is something that they didn't teach us. Just like you would see on dice. All right, the five dice. Okay, just picture this as a dice, and you have dot, 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 and the five in the middle. That's symbolic because five is the even and balanced number. All right, that's why it's a rhythm number. It's easy to count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, so on and so on, okay? It's a rhythm that we follow. All right, so once we got to the five, you get to the six. And what the six is, see, once you get to four of a foundation here, that's really pretty much the last number because five is telling you it's even and balanced. You a balance wants the triangle, the support of the pyramid. All right. So once you get to six, basically six, all right, six is sex because it's the spiral to repeat the spiral. All right. Six is the keyway. All right. And repeat yourself. To go back and repeat because that's all life is. It's a repetition. All right. We're going to repeat a lot of things in our lives. It's called a ritual. Okay. So that's what six is. Six is just telling you to repeat yourself, to do it again and do it again. All right. Then you get to seven, which is the cornerstone of the box. That's what seven is. You reach this, the cornerstone. It's understanding. Now, like I tell you, it's not numbers, it's not numerical values. It's now telling you a story. You have now reached cornerstone. All right. That's what this is. You're understanding the the concept of these numbers now. You're understanding the story. All right. So once you move from seven and the seven, which is understanding or completion, you get to eight, which is basically the infinity or the zero all over again. All right. If you look closely, it's almost like two zeros on top of each other. Right. You know, that's what the eight looks like. So you basically just doubled up. Okay. So it's just telling you to keep going, keep going. That's my understanding of it. Many people may have a different understanding of eight, which is infinity. Okay. But this is what I'm going to say. This is my understanding of my light. Okay. You're going to double it up and do it again. It's repeat, it's infinity because you keep doubling, you keep doubling. All right. That's why I tell you, once you got past four here, the numbers basically stop. It's a story now, okay? It's telling you the story all over once you get here. So now when you get to nine, the special number nine, which is telling you it's a six upside down, all right? It's the same thing. It's telling you to repeat in reverse, basically. So you go back and you repeat it in reverse. You retrace your steps. When you lose yourself, say you lost your keys, what do? You say, I'm going to retrace my steps. So you're going to go in reverse, all right? Because you've now reached the end. Because look at the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is 1 and 0 all over again. You see how they're reversed? This is called the binary code 0, 1, 1, and 0. This is what birthed everything in the middle. They're all the same. They're telling you all the same thing. Okay, they're all birthed from one, which is what we've lost here in humanity as far as realizing that we're all the same and we're all birthed from the same thing. Okay, this is what the numbers are trying to tell us about the creation. Yes, they all have their unique value. They all have their unique symbol and story, but they all come from these two, the zero and the one. The one penetrates the zero. Have you ever seen people write their zeros like this? The zero with the line, that's the zero and the one. That's the one penetrating the zero. I'm trying to watch my language. I have kids here, but that's the, let me write it out. That's that getting penetrated by this. Okay? Think about it. Think about the vajayjay. It's a womb. All right? Think about the phallus, the penis. It's a one. Straight line. And when it penetrates, new life comes. Just like we have here. These are all the kids from the one and the zero, okay? This is what This is what we don't learn in school. All right. So numbers weren't numerical values or measurements to our ancestors. There were stories and symbols to let them know where they come from. All right. And that's really what I wanted to get across here real quick. It's a short video. I definitely rushed this, but this is something I wanted to practice getting out and see how I'll lay out and outline my teachings, or mirroring other teachers that I've learned. Okay, so this is how I look at numbers. This is what I do. Okay, and I love numbers. They speak to me every day. I see different patterns of numbers. 111, 222, 333. They're everywhere. Or I'll see mirrored numbers, 757. All that's saying to me is balance because it's the same number in reverse. 757, 757. If you flip it, it's the same. Okay. Here's something else that I thought was interesting about numbers and something that we didn't learn as far as adding or whatever. Okay, let's take the number three, which is obviously a very important number because remember I told you the three gave you the first structure shape, right? So take the number three and let's look at it for a second. All right, so let's take three and then it's inverted the other way. All right. What is that? What does that look like? It looks like an E. What was to happen if we were to add these two? What would you get when you start to merge these two? You would get an 8. That's exactly what you would get. And what does that mean to you? To me, that means Trinity plus Trinity equals infinity. See how that rhymes? See, words that rhyme correlate in their relation, okay? Trinity plus Trinity will equal infinity. So in a shape form, Trinity plus Trinity will give you the diamond, which is also the same thing. You see how this works, y'all? This is beautiful science that we're not learning in school. They're teaching us be to measure things, and that breaks things down into you can't measure infinity because the number keeps going, right? So there's really no point of us saying that, oh, two is greater than one. No, they're the same. They're the same. All right. Let's look at another one. I mean, let's have some fun, okay? So four. All right. What is the four? You would invert it, right? So that's basically an H. You get. I don't know if I can really draw it out, but let's see. You would get basically the swastika looks like to me. Okay. Do you see that? It's called. This is basically balance. This is how you balance things out. All right. Just like how our faces are symmetrical, split, everything is balanced. Okay. That's all I really got for today, y'all. I don't want to keep going freestyle like this off the top of my head. It'll get sloppy, and I probably will lose myself because it's something that you really have to plan out and get organized. But I wanted to get that out to show you guys that there's a different way to look at numbers. Okay, so peace and love to everybody. Y'all have a good day.